Hello everyone, Lawrence Hugo here from Credit Mediation Service, coming to you from a fine misty morning on top of Budrum. One of the most common questions that we get, the most common question we get is, how is it that you negotiate and convince a financial institution to waive debts in full or forgive part of it on behalf of your clients? So there's three factors that come into it. The first is relationship. So all good negotiators, and there aren't that many good probably anywhere between 4 and 6 in Australia, have spent many years working in the industry, 15, 20, 25, 30 years working and developing a rapport and a solid relationship with some of the major middle upper management decision makers with financial institutions, debt collection agencies, trade creditors and so on. And working closely with these decision makers, you develop a heightened level of trust and rapport, so that it makes it that little bit easier when you've completed a file and negotiations and with an amicable outcome. It makes it a little bit easier for the next client that you built that rapport a little bit more. So the first one is relationship and rapport. The second is a heightened level of understanding of the policies and procedures of each bank and debt collection agency. For example, if you have a client who, they're in their mid-40s, they've got a 50% loan-to-value ratio on their property, they've earning average wages and a couple other bits and bobs in their profile, you would know that, say, ANZ will accept X figure as opposed to Westpac, who will accept Y figure. And then a debt collection agency, this particular one, will accept Z figure. And so you know that because of your experience with these agencies, what their policies and procedures are, and how it is that they would react to your client's profile. The other factor is, who is it within that agency or that bank that you reach out for? Because it's fine to have a policy and procedure, however, you have different personalities and individuals within the bank who flexes the policies and procedures in different ways. For example, if we have a client we had a client a couple months ago. She was in her mid-60s, suffering financial hardship and needed her debts forgiven. So she had a debt with a major bank, and we decided to reach out to a decision maker who was in their late 50s or mid 50s. And because we know that decision maker has a heightened level of empathy for clients of that age. And so they were at, that decision maker was at more of a stage where they were getting closer to retirement. They'd lived their life, and they were much more philosophical around making the tough decisions, compared to, say, someone who's in their mid-20s or late 20s. They're fresh from university, 3, 4, 5 years into their career, that storming stage of their career. Whereas someone who's at their mid-50s or at the norming stage of their career, and that's a sort of theory of group development. And so they're at storming stage. They're all about policies and procedures, and the policy procedure says no, they'll say no. So the second stage, or the second element of negotiations, is understanding the policies and procedures of each bank and financial institution, and how it is that those policies and procedures are flexed by the individuals, and how it is that you can target certain individuals for an outcome that you're looking for. The third critical aspect of negotiations, is simply negotiation skills. It is critical. When negotiating and the bank says, no, computer says no, we can't agree to a 50% settlement or an 80% settlement or a full debt waiver. And you ask them why, because the policy procedure says no. Okay, right, so how is it that you take that no and turn it into yes? And so you might identify various nuances in their response, a tone or the word that they use, or several words, or understanding their position. You might be able to leverage their position in a different way to turn it around on them and get them to review. Negotiation skills is absolutely critical in securing the best outcome for the clients. And just because the bank says no, it doesn't mean it's no. It means not yet. We're not convinced. And that's when the real work starts for the negotiator. And when negotiating with the bank, could take several weeks to turn that no into a yes. But about 95% of the time, a good negotiator will do exactly that.